Good morning, folks. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Max Convexity. My channel's name is The Covered Caller. You can find me on X at Max Convexity Man. Remember, everything I say here is not financial advice. Check all of this kind of stuff with your own licensed financial planner. Okay, so today's video is going to be K-Yield versus Ulti from YieldMax versus Ulti from Rex versus Blox. I'm going to start making this a daily video. We had one yesterday. Let's see, speaking of yesterday, let's see what happened yesterday. If you look over here on the right of this graphic, you can see the changes of those four funds we talked about plus others. YieldMax's Ulty was only up 1%. Blox was the big winner, up 10.3%. That's incredible. ULTI from Rex was up 4.6, and K-Yield was also up 4.6. That's ULTI from Rex was actually up 4.64. But in any event, it's a great day. And if you look, these are days you can see that, this was the best day that these types of ETFs have had in a long time, and it was a welcome relief. All right, the market scheme rate open. Let's see what the market's doing at this early point in the day. Bitcoin's down 1.6. Let's just look at Blox. Blox is trading about down 2.5% in the pre-market. Well, Bitcoin's down 1.6, so that would make sense. Blox is highly levered to Bitcoin. Let's check out ULTI from Rex. Rex's Ulti. That one is trading up 2.75 in the pre-market. The pre-market can be thinly traded, though, but we'll see. Market's getting ready to open in a second. Let's check ULTY from YieldMax. That one is trading down a 1/4 point in the pre-market. Let's check out K-Yield from my friend Howard over at Curve. And this one is down about 3/4 of a point in the pre-market. It was up 4.6 yesterday. You can see right here that the S&P 500 futures are down a little bit in the pre-market. Let's check out NASDAQ. All right, NASDAQ's down a little bit too. So let's go check out these funds and see what their actual holdings are and if they've changed any. So here we have Alt-Y from Rex. Here's their current allocations. Let's check the change in holdings first. There was no change in holdings. I have a new feature on this dashboard. So the stock positions are the same as yesterday. Cipher Mining, Iron, Credo, Applied Digital, TeraWolf, Bloom Energy, AST Space Mobile, Astera Labs, Galaxy Digital, Core Scientific, Bullish, Rocket Lab, EOSE Enterprises, Lucid Group, Symbotic, Oklo, Rare Earth, Sunrun, Nano Nuclear Energy, and C3 AI. As far as their option positions, let's take a look at this and see if they're still hedged or see if they took off their hedges. AI is hedged. Astera Lab is hedged. Applied Digital is Applied Digital may not be. ASTS is hedged. Bloom Energy is hedged. Bloom Energy is hedged under $76. Yesterday, they were all hedged except one. Bullish is definitely hedged. Cipher is, let's see about Cipher. Cipher is not hedged. They have sold a call at 14. They have bought a call at 16, non-cap part of the upside. And then they have bought a put at 205. But they don't have twice as many puts. So in Cipher, it is not hedged. You can tell it's hedged when they have twice as many puts. Like on Cores, they have 196 on 3 of their legs and then 392 on the 4th leg. Credo not hedged. EOSE is is hedged. They have twice as many puts. It's hedged under 11. Galaxy's definitely hedged. They have twice as many puts, so under 21. They've cut off all possibility of bag holding. Iron is not. Lucid is not. NNE is definitely hedged. They have 192 puts at the 27 level. Oklo is hedged. Rocket Lab is hedged under the 37 level. Sunrun is hedged under the 16.5 level. Symbotic is hedged. USAR is hedged under 11. They can't lose any additional under 11. And Wolf is also hedged. They have 502 puts, which is twice as many as the rest of the overlay. And so they're hedged under 10 on that one. So they are mostly hedged. We'll see how they do. Let's look now really quick at ULTY. Well, we'll just take a look and see if anything stands out. Of course, the changes in holdings. We have had some changes in holdings here. They dropped some T-bills. They have added a little cash. They were at 5.39%. Now they're at 9.6%. Probably just adjusting positions. They put on a trade in the Qs. Oh my gosh. That's well, we'll see what that kind of option trade they did. Anyway, they also have a trade on in GDX, GLD, Materials Corporation, SoFi, Oklo, Quanta Services, SMR, Twilio, and CACI International. I haven't seen CACI International in any of these funds before. Let's check out what the heck this thing is. I think I read it's a defense contractor. Well, Technology Information Technology Services, lots of green on the board. Oh, that's an uptrend for you. This one's not worried about the recent pullback we've had. In any event, okay, let's get back to ULTY from YieldMax, and let's look at the option positions. I mainly want to see, they generally do the same thing. They have collars, and sometimes they put an extra leg on their collar, but I'm mainly interested in the new ones, like the Qs. I want to see what they did in the NASDAQ. That's interesting that they bought the NASDAQ to me. Well, for some reason, the Qs doesn't show up on the port. Maybe they just bought stock in the NASDAQ. They don't have options on it. In any event, I guess we could go to stock positions. Yeah, they have 5.8% of the fund in the NASDAQ, and my report did not pick up any option positions. So they're just straight long. Well, let's check out this CACI. This is a new one also. On CACI, they have 3 legs. They have sold a put, and then they have bought 2 puts. They've sold the 580 level 98 times, but then they bought the 550, and then they also bought the 530. So they're definitely hedged on that one. Other than that, they have Costco, the usual suspects. They have a collar on in Costco. They generally use collars on all their trades. In GDX, they have, in GDX, they've actually sold a put spread. They've sold the 65 strike and bought the 70 strike. IBIT, which is Bitcoin, they have 3 puts on an IBIT. Wow. All right. So they sold the 41 strike put. However, they bought the 42.5 and then put, and then they also bought the 44 strike put. The proof's in the pudding. We'll see how well they do. Out of all of these funds, they were the one that was up least yesterday. We'll see how they do. That's ULTY. All right. So Blox. Now, Blox is Have they had any change in holdings? No, they haven't. All right, so we can look at their stock positions. They're the same as they were yesterday. They have Van Eck, they have HODL, they have FBTC, Ethereum. Then they have the usual suspects as far as stock goes. IREN, HUD 8, Cypher, Taiwan Semi, Riot Blockchain, NVIDIA, a little bit of T-bills, Coinbase, Galaxy, Robinhood, Bullish, Webull, Bitfarm, Mara, Bitmine Immersion, Circle, MicroStrategies. They don't have that much MicroStrategies. They only have 77 basis points. And then they also have CoreWeave. And so as far as their option positions, let's see what they're doing. All right, on Bullish, they're selling a put and buying a further out of the money put. That's the same thing they usually do. That's called a lightning spread. When you combine a put spread with stock, it's a lightning spread. And it looks like that's, just looking through these real quick, it looks like that's what they're doing on all of them, or different versions of that. Looks like they have two tranches of put spreads on Bitmine Immersion, but on Webull, for instance, they sold the 8.5 strike put. They bought the 7.5 strike put. Plus, they own stock in Webull. That's pretty much their standard strategy. We'll see how these guys do. They obviously have a lot of Bitcoin in here, but the good thing is if Bitcoin goes up, these lightning spread strategies where you sell put spreads and own stock of the company on top of that do really well in markets that go up. In fact, they have unlimited upside. All right, so let's go to the last one. This is K-Yield from Howard over at Curve. Need to get Howard on the station soon. All right, so changes in holdings. No significant changes. I put a filter in there where if it doesn't move by more than 25%, it doesn't show up. So they may have had positions go up or down by, 10 or 15%, but nothing significant. So the stock positions are the same as they were yesterday. Teradyne, they have GDX, which is Van Eck Gold Miners, Broadcom, Silver Miners, Howmet Aerospace, Shift for Payments, Intel, Reddit, Shopify, Vistra, AppLovin, BDX Technologies, Advanced Micro. They have some T-bills. They have Robinhood, Hims & Hers, Coinbase, Roblox, Galaxy, Bitmine Immersion, and a little bit of cash. As far as their option positions go, Howard's liable to do anything. Yesterday, he had 3 option positions where he wasn't even selling premium. He was just long option premium. One of them was Bloom Energy, and he's still long here. He's long the calls, a deep in the money call, and he's short far out of the money call. That is a credits or a debit spread. It's a bull call spread. Anyway, so we're straight bullish on BE, on Bloom Energy. No option premium sold there. On a lot of these, he has standard covered calls. Let's go down here. But on IBIT, this one, Howard is also just long premium on. He's betting on Bitcoin to go up with this one. He's buying a call, selling a put. Synthetically long IBIT. That does not bring in premium either. If it does, it brings in a tiny premium. It's not an income trade. Then on the Qs, what's Howard doing on the Qs? On the Qs, he is running a volatility strangle. He's long deep out of the money calls, and he's long deep out of the money puts. This is a long volatility strangle. He's probably using it as a hedge. On the rest of them, it looks like he has standard covered calls on. All right, guys. Well, that's the report for this morning. The market opened. Bitcoin's down 2.1% right now at this time in the day. We have the Russell up a little bit, which is good. S&P is down, but not too much. It's only down 13 basis points. We'll see how it does. This day should be interesting. I'll be back with my live stream here in about 15 minutes. And then I have a live stream also at the end of the day at 5 o'clock Eastern. Also, I just released a new video this morning that I'm kind of proud of. I thought it was a good video that explains how the NAV works in these high yield ETFs. Anyway, go watch that video if you're interested. And other than that, I will talk to you later. Remember, not financial advice. Consult a licensed financial planner. Also, if you care to leave me a tip, you can always donate at paypal.me/maxconvexity. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, and you have a great day.